So no movement from Arsenal. They stay second on 67 points and suddenly just 3 ahead of the reigning champions Manchester City. Then come Newcastle and Chelsea. But as you can see, Villa earlier today locked on points, 60 with Forest, with Chelsea having played a game more. And as we mentioned, Bournemouth up to 8, which could be enough for European football next season. They will lose that mantle if Brighton beat Newcastle on Sunday. So a rare win for Leicester, just the 5th of the season. We know they're already relegated. Spurs and Manchester United are both in action on Sunday.
Micheal, do you leave the match with the feeling that you could have killed the game with the amount of chances you created before they grew into the match?
Yeah, for sure. But the reality is that we didn't. We had so many open situations. We opened them up. Big spaces, big opportunities to score. We didn't. And then when you defend the box the way we did and concede 2 goals from set pieces at this level is very difficult to earn the 3 points.
Yeah, before the goals, I was just speaking to Martin, and he mentioned that he felt it was a bit chaotic in the second half and that they couldn't manage the game properly. Why do you feel that happened, especially after their goals?
Because you don't finish the actions and you give so many simple balls away, and against a team that they have a lot of energy, they run, and in transition they are really good. That's a really dangerous thing to do, and when we had them we didn't kill them, and then we give them hope. They score from 2 set pieces and then became very chaotic.
Yes, chaotic. You can hear his frustration. So just to round off, we said before the game it'd be ideal to get a little bit of winning momentum going to Paris. It's flipped the other way here now.
Yeah, it's a bit, but like, again, I think when you come down to this stage of the season, Steve, when you're in it, they've had a tough season up to this point. And he's not used the excuse of the injuries and all that and everything else what's gone on in that respect. I think that the team are now at their last. They're at their last. They're on the reserves, and it's the like I say, it's the biggest game in his career coming up. I thought that today showed that it looked a little lethargic. We couldn't quite press it home and put them under enough pressure where you break Bournemouth, and they kept coming because that's what they do. And in the end, I think the saddest thing and the most disappointing thing is how easy the goals were, what were conceded. That would be very disappointing for him and for the team. But hopefully they can find something. They can find the energy.
In a word, yes or no? Can they do it in Paris?
Yeah, absolutely they can.
Okay.
Yes.
You agree? Well, you know,
yes.
I'll take
they
it.
can.
Yeah, okay. Yep, 7 in 10 for him in all competitions. We'll come to his goal and the whys and wherefores about it in a moment. But talking about players linked elsewhere, we talked about Daniel Howson before the game started for his defensive work. He didn't have too much to do for the equaliser here, did he?
No, it was quite strange. You don't see this anymore. I mean, I played for a team in Stoke that scored 1 or 2 of these, but it's not really a tactic that you would use in the Premier League too much. Semenyo obviously comes on and he takes the long throw in. You see Lewis Skelly here actually just not even looking at the ball, but he's not even marking him as well. And Howson just pulls off the goalkeeper, really. He's not marked. He goes into the danger area and he flicks it into the corner. I mean, it's a pretty simple goal.
I think it's a really good goal from where he is, but like, yeah, you say the marking. I think the marking there and the same with the marking for the next goal. It's funny because both of the defence are not looking at the player who's about to try and score. That was really strange to see, especially when you know how Arsenal are quite diligent with their defensive work, but not so much. This season's not been as good from set pieces this season. So to see them concede 2 goals like that at this stage of the season is quite disappointing as well. I know they're knackered. They must be. They're tired, I think, physically and mentally. I think they are tired, but they've got to go for that last push. They've got to finish it off.
Yeah, and it was 2 goals in 8 minutes in the end. Right.
Yeah, it was,
And another set play.
Well, it was, and again, when you look at that one there, we saw no one really challenged, and it's the same with this one. It's like, the ball's great. You can never underestimate how good the ball is, but you look again at Odegaard, he's not looking at the ball, he's just reacting off the man. Look, so I'm feeling if he's faced round, maybe the same as Lewis Skelly, he can have better opportunity to maybe move his body into a situation where he can stop him from getting that. Because look, he can see everything. Martin can't see everything, even though it's come off of his arm for me. It has come off of his arm.
You still think from that angle that you can be certain?
Well, I can see it. Of course I can see it. It's come off of his arm. It's like, you know, I'm sure they'll have some fancy way of explaining it, what makes me think, oh, OK then. But the fact is, it's come off of here.
Well, the word was insufficient conclusive evidence to be certain that it had struck the
Yeah, that
arse.
sounds beautiful, but like for me, it looks like it comes off his arm. You know, when you look at where his arm is there, if you just watch the ball, you know, they can say whatever they want, however they want to say it. Look where that comes off of. There, look, there it is. So they can say all them fancy, insufficient, whatever they want to say. That's come off of his arm. Just say that. Just say it's come off his arm, you know, but we're still going to give it because it's close proximity. I don't know. But, like, I just don't like, I'm tired of the fanciness. But at the same time, Martin Odegaard again and Miles Skelly marking back to goal is always a worry for me. I don't like to see, I want to see people seeing the ball so they can attack it or they can react, but it didn't happen.
Are you happy with the check there on the handball?
I agree with Wright, it's come off his arm. I guess you have to be conclusive to disallow it. I don't mind that rule. I just think when the ball is bouncing, so it's coming up this way, there is no other way it can't go up. It can't hit me and not go up unless it hits something like your arm. If I take my arms out of the equation, it hits me here, it bounces and goes high. It's just, physics just tell you that. So as soon as it went in, me and Righty said it's got to have come off your arm. The ball can't go back down unless it's hit something that's stuck out of your body to make it go down. So we knew it had hit his arm straight away. If there's no camera angle to say it's sufficient, then I hear it, I get it. But I would agree. I think it's a handball.
Now then, as we mentioned, it was another set piece. Look at this. They haven't conceded the most goals from set pieces, but Arsenal don't concede many. Just 31 all season, but 12 of them now from set plays. So that is the highest percentage in the Premier League. Almost 39% of the goals they've conceded in the league have come from set plays. Now, quite rightly, we've produced the figures at the other end of the pitch for Arsenal this season and praised them to the hilt about the different types of corners, etc. Is that in any way a concern going forward?
I'd say it's a concern. You know what, Steve? Of course it's a concern. The percentages are there for everyone to see. We've got the most, but the biggest concern is how static we were in the box. I don't know if it's because we haven't got Gabby Magalhaes in there to organise it and be a bit more aggressive, but the way we were in those particular instances, no one seemed to be doing anything. And it seemed very easy. No one was off the ground. No one was like urgent or trying to stop it. And that is why probably the 38%, you can look at it there and you think, okay, yeah, I can believe that. But at the same time, when you see it with your eyes, that's poor defending. And we could put it down to tiredness, fatigue, I don't know. But that's poor defending. And it seems to be catching on because we've got 30%, 38% there.
And it's quite ironic, isn't it? Because we've been lauding Arsenal. Yeah. We've been talking about how good their set-piece coach must be, and obviously is in one box, but he's the worst. Well, they've got the worst record percentage-wise in the other box. So I'd suggest he needs to start practicing a little bit more at the other end, because fine scoring all those goals, but if you're going to concede the most as well, or bigger, highest percentage, then that's a problem.
And that might be of note pre-match in the Bournemouth camp with their manager trying to highlight that. He did. They won. It's a league double over the Gunners for Andoni Iraola.
Andoni, big, hard-fought 3 points here at the Emirates. So what was key in getting the result today?
For me, I think I liked the game overall, even the first half. I think we've had our chances. Vanessa had a couple. We didn't score, but I think we were playing well. And probably the key was the set plays in the second half. The throw in the corner. I think at the end, in this kind of close games, to make the difference with the set plays, I think it was the key to take the 3 points.
How important was it when you weren't getting those chances, and when you weren't getting the goals with the chances, to stay composed and keep pushing and go look for alternatives?
Yes, I think we've been at half-time talking about it was a good first half. I think obviously they are going to have some chances. We are playing Arsenal away, but we were playing well. We were having a lot of the ball. We were taking good positions, arriving not a lot of chances, but we had decent chances, especially the two from Eva. And it was a matter of doing same things, trying to push a little bit more. And I think the subs also today helped us. Antoine coming from the bench, I think it was a a good spark, no, in that moment when both teams were tired, and I'm really happy. Yes.
How much practice do you put in those long throw-ins? Because it's not usual to see goals like this anymore.
Yes, we hadn't scored any this season, just the first one. No, I remember we conceded 2 or 3 because it's Brentford and Ipswich, and we have a couple of players, Antoine, James Hill, who can put dangerous balls. Really, today was longer than I expected from Antoine, and a nice moment to score this kind of goals. Yes.
And then.
Yes, he enjoyed those 2 goals in 8 minutes. A reminder, they are up to 8th, which could be enough for European football next season. As it stands, they would be also finishing in their highest ever league position. They managed 9th once under Eddie Howe. As I mentioned, they've already won more games ever in their history in the top flight. They've already got more points than they've ever done in the history in the top flight. I mean, the giant strides that this guy is leading Bournemouth to.
I think we might be seeing a little bit of change in the Premier League. Bournemouth aren't the first team to be surprising us like this. From humble beginnings, I mean, they were bottom of the Division 2 only, 10 years ago or so. It's the most incredible rise, and there's no slowing them down. They've probably got the smallest stadium in the Premier League. I guess revenue is probably smaller than anybody else's as well, or right down. However, they keep unearthing gems. They've got a great playing squad, a great manager. They're just a very, very good team. And I think we're seeing so many of these. You look at the league table now, it's no longer a surprise to see Fulham up there in the top half, or Brighton. Brighton have done it for a long time.
And Bournemouth, Fulham and Forest came up together.
Exactly. Bournemouth now as well. I mean, we're getting Manchester United and Tottenham in the bottom half. I just think that these teams are very wealthy as well, and they can buy the good players as well.
Very good points. Great day for Bournemouth, but not for Arsenal before they head to Paris on Wednesday.